just an understatement, baby, I'm the best.
I said I feel like I'm the greatest. I said I feel like I'm the greatest. I'ma be here when my time is up. I said I feel like I'm the greatest. One day.
Check, time, check.
One day you'll go.
I must be the greatest. I told the world. I talk to God every day. The God's with me, can't nobody be against me.
Today's episode was brought to you by the Comfort Experts. See us for all your heating and air conditioning needs. For more information, visit onehouraircarolinas.com. That's onehouraircarolinas.com.
Gen Y, Gen X, Millennials, Generation Me, Generation Internet. You know who you are. You've been crushed, hit hard by this economy.
So if you're dealing with college debt, maybe you're even trying to move out of your parents' house or start a new business. Look, the only way you're going to be able to do that is to be able to produce and to get people to pay you what you're worth.
I'm fighting for your generation. I'm not counting you out. I believe in you. We're here to give young hustlers the advice and tools they need to succeed in the 21st century.
Hey, welcome. This is Young Hustlers. Today is the day, Thursday, noon, East Coast Standard Time, where I come and give you what you need to get you ahead on your path to young hustler success. This show just ain't for the young hustlers. This show is for every hustler out there. Everybody who needs to get inside and find that youthful hustle to propel them to greater heights. We get success stories from people that are 40, 45 years old who watch the show, who are big fans. And I just want to say, hey man, everybody's a young hustler, not just the younger folks. My name's @Jared Glenn. I'm the vice president for Grant Cardone, who's normally my sidekick on the show, but he's out doing his hustle. He's on his grind today. So I'm here by myself, but I got a great show lined up for you. It's about mistakes, man. One thing that I do know about mistakes is that oftentimes you can learn from other people's mistakes, right? You know, that's probably the best way to learn is figure out what somebody else did that didn't work so that you don't do the same thing. And so what I got today is I got the biggest mistake that you can actually make. That's the title of the show. The biggest mistake that you can make, whether you're 25, 35, 55, the biggest mistake you can make, and I'm going to share it with you in a minute. I want to try and leave a little suspense on the whole deal. But I'd love for you to call in and share with me your biggest mistake. Look, everybody can learn from everybody's mistakes, right? So call in and share about it, right? And let's share what you learned from that mistake. The number is going to be 305-865-8668, 305-865-8668. And I'm going to be on grantcardonetv.com/young hustlers. I got the comments up here. Frank the Tank, he's already on, secretly watching during work. My man, Alex Chavez, happy birthday to me. Thank you. It was my birthday yesterday. Every year that passes, my young hustler status, right? You'd think it goes away, but it doesn't, because I got the young hustle inside. So look, I was going through and I found an article. Actually, Dina did. I'll give you credit. I'll give you props on this one. On entrepreneur.com, for the 5 lessons that young entrepreneurs learn the hard way, the 5 mistakes they make, right? So here is the list that, I can't really pronounce this guy's name, but he must be important. He writes for entrepreneur.com. So the 5 biggest mistakes. Number 1, you don't know everything, whatever that means. Don't waste money on material possessions. Filter.
I'm sorry. Excuse us. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Jared.
man. What is it? What do you guys, man?
Jared.
Oh, man. This is
For all you young hustlers out there,
I'm going to get all red
there
now.
is a young hustler for you. And we just want to celebrate Jared. He's been with us 5 years now. He's very much responsible for all the great things that happen here.
Wow.
We just want to tell everybody, if you're aspiring to be a young hustler, you might want to listen to what Jared had to say.
Oh, come on,
Yeah,
guys. Come on, guys. Thank you.
You like the picture?
The picture, you got to show what it says on the cake.
We got to see.
I don't know if you can get a shot of this.
Yeah,
Come on, man, I got the zoom on. Whoa.
Look at that. Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate every single one of you guys. You know, we are a big team here, and every single person on the team plays an integral part, whether it's answering the phones, making sure that we get the money, making sure customers are happy, or holding everything together. So I really appreciate all of you guys, and I really thank you for acknowledging me here.
Keep hustling, Jay.
Thanks, guys.
And get back to work.
Okay. Well, that was unexpected. Thank you, guys. Hey, I got a show to do. Get out of here. Okay, all right, so we're talking about mistakes. Are we live, though, for real? Okay, cool, all right. Okay, good. So the 5 mistakes, let's see. Number 1, you don't know everything. Number 2, don't waste money on material possessions. Number 3, filter who you let in your life. Number 4, stay humble. And number 5, embrace what makes you unique. So there's a couple big things there that he covered, and I guess I'd agree with some of them. But for me, really, like truly, the biggest mistake that you can make, whether you're 20, 25, 35, whether you're 15, whether you're 55, the biggest mistake that you can make is wasting time. If time is money, then the biggest mistake you can make is wasting the precious time that you have available to you. You know, we all only have a certain amount of time to live, and you need to make the most of what you have so that you can get where you want to go faster. Now, for me, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, Grant and I were in Las Vegas. I mean, we've been in Vegas for the last 3 days at a conference, but we went in to shoot some video content, and we were there at like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. And so we're going through, and we're sitting down. We get in there with the president of the company, the owner of the company, who's a good friend of ours. We're mapping all this stuff out. We start talking about where the business is going. And then next thing you know, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the one thing that we went there to shoot was content. And it didn't get started until later in the day, which if we would have started earlier, we would have realized that we had a problem with the scripts, or I had a problem with the scripts. All right, so just an example of now we spent, we had this entire day, and because we wasted time at the beginning of the day, it really caused a problem for us later. And so I'm going to give you a couple examples of things that you are doing or things that are the result of the time that you're wasting when we get back from the break. But again, call in. I want to hear from you, 305-865-8668. I'm Jared Glant, and this is Young Hustlers.
Owning a home has many elements that have to be looked after. One of the most important elements is comfort, and your heating and air conditioning is priority. That's why we stop at nothing to provide on-time service and expertise for all of your heating and cooling needs. We are the Comfort Experts. We have the solution for all of your trickiest heating and air conditioning needs. That's why we brought you our show, The Comfort Experts. Every week we bring you tips and tricks to improve your home and bring you peace of mind with our quality service tips for home heating and air conditioning maintenance. Visit onehouraircarolinas.com to tune into our weekly updates and services for your home improvement. That's onehouraircarolinas.com today. Becoming an internet marketer, network marketer, internet entrepreneur, or business owner, pay attention to this offer. CPA, known as Cost Per Action, promotes offers to top companies via paid traffic platforms. Imagine positioning yourself as the dominant player in your industry all over the internet, with people seeking you out for job opportunities, your product, and your service, while increasing your income to over 6 figures in 9 months. The Millionaire Mastermind will show you how. Learn through us with step-by-step digital instructional programs, free weekly webinars, and 24/7 customer support. The Millionaire Mastermind is the go-to expert for all resources and training to thrive in this industry. And it all starts with our free 6 Figures to 9 Months webinar. Sign up for your free 6 Figures in 9 Months webinar at themillionairemastermind.com/6 figures. That's themillionairemastermind.com/6 figures. Grant Cardone, New York Times best-selling author, international sales and business expert, thriving CEO of 4 businesses, and Fran Tarkenton, NFL Hall of Famer, entrepreneur, and founder of Tarkenton Companies, have come together to bring you a live webcast.
The reason I'm partnering with Grant Cardone is because he has helped thousands upon thousands of people understand selling, revenue, how to make your business grow, how you can make more money.
Fran Tarkenton is talking about helping people, transparency, the importance of money, but the importance of money in the right order. We're gonna shoot it right here. You know, we're gonna do 2 hours until you have all the information you need about how to finish the last quarter of this year big and get ready for 2016.
With over 70 plus years of combined insight and experience in entrepreneurship and sales, this is an event guaranteed to kickstart your small business.
We are doers. We're going to teach you to be doers and have more success than you've ever had in your life, because we're going to help you do the one key ingredient that you got to do. You got to make more sales. You got to have more revenue. Grant Cardone and Fran Tarkenton are the people you can learn from.
This live event will give you hands-on and practical strategies from the masters of business and sales. Register now for the Kickstart Your Small Business webcast to get Grant Cardone's ultimate 20-second elevator pitch, Fran Tarkenton's first chapter of his best-selling book, The Power of Failure, and his 7 business maxims for success.
We don't think you're handicapped or disabled. Me and Fran both think you do need tools though. KickstartyourSmallBusiness.com. We're gonna sit in these chairs for 2 to 4 hours, answer your questions, give you strategies, tips, exact things you can do. And if you're not doing, folks, it's not because you're scared, it's because you have the wrong information. Once you understand something, you will do it.
Visit KickstartYourSmallBusiness.com. That's KickstartYourSmallBusiness.com today.
Welcome back. And if you guys just saw, we're doing an event called Kickstart Your Small Business. I just got to tell you that sometimes people think that, oh, the small business, the entrepreneur thing, like, how does that apply to me? I don't own a business. So I just want to tell you, if you collect a paycheck, you own a business. Okay? You can be an entrepreneur working for somebody else. And what Grant and Fran are going to share on that webcast are basically how to blow your situation up in a good way for the better, right? Like how to get more business, how to hire the right people, how to surround yourself with the right people, you know, how to put a process in place that actually converts, like how to acquire clients, how to raise money. I mean, there's everything that is involved in growing a company, even if that company is just you or you're an employee somewhere, they're gonna cover everything. So don't miss that. KickstartYourSmallBusiness.com to get registered for it. But today we're talking about wasting time and how really, truly that is the biggest mistake that you can make. Theo from Atlanta, I want to go to Theo right now because he's been waiting for a while. Theo, what's going on? Hey, mute your computer. What's going on, man?
What's happening, brother? Happy birthday.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Thanks for calling in.
So the topic is the biggest mistake you can make today?
Yeah. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made?
Okay, the biggest mistake I've ever made was 2 weeks ago. I was on Meerkat with Grant Cardone, and I didn't have my iPhone app linked to Meerkat, so when he tried to talk to me to get some questions in, you know, I fumbled. So that was the biggest mistake I made here real recently. So,
well, dude, hey, that's a big mistake right there. If that's the biggest one you've ever made, though, you're in good shape.
No, it's not the biggest one, but you know, it's been other things. But you know, that was a dagger. But you know, biggest mistakes is really just not following through and not putting 100% in. I think that's just the biggest mistake you could just make, period, in life. Just not giving it your all. Totally.
And then what we have to do is we have to be able to take the mistake that we made. You got to be aware of it, right? You got to be aware, like, hey, man, I messed up. How do I fix it? And so, thanks for sharing that, Theo. I think a lot of people would identify with you, Theo. That following through and making sure that you're actually doing something and you have a little bit of urgency is a really big mistake. So look, guys, that is truly one of the biggest mistakes is not operating with urgency, right? Like, I want to get where I want to go in the shortest period of time possible. I mean, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait till I'm 50 or 60 to be able to say, you know, hey, man, I've got freedom to do whatever I want. I mean, I want that now, and you should too. So here's a couple things that you should not waste time with. Number one, taking your finances seriously. This is something as a younger generation that we sometimes discount. I know I made the same mistake. I mean, I was 26 years old until I started getting serious about my money. You know, I didn't have any attention on it. I had more attention on fun than I did on like, dude, I got to get my stuff together. And I didn't feel confident going out finding the wife okay, until I had my situation right. Like I wanted to get my money right so that I could go out and I could find the right person to spend my time, my life with. So you need to figure out how much money you want to make, right? Like you need to be very clear on that. If I started writing every single day when I was 20 years old, 18 years old, I want to make 500 grand a year. I want to make $1 million a year. I want to make $3 million a year. My entire shift in attention would have taken place, 10 years probably before it did. But I ended up wasting time. I ended up wanting to go out and have fun more than I wanted to get serious about my money. So don't make that mistake. Don't waste the time before you take your finances seriously. Number 2, learn how to produce income. This is a big one. This is one that I really didn't learn until I was 26 years old and came to work for Grant. I spent, I was in sales for 10 years. I was in sales for 10 years before I really learned how to produce. Like how to actually go out and make a cold call and create something out of nothing. Do you really know how to produce yet? Do you know how to pick up the phone and make a cold call? I mean, I didn't learn how to do that until I was 26 years old. And I look back going, man, I see the guys in the office, Todd, 25 years old, 26 years old, Jordan, 28, Steve. I was like, man, I wish I would have had a leg up. I wish I would have gotten serious about my money. I wish I would have learned how to go out and produce. But instead, I just thought, hey, man, I can talk to people. I'm personable. I'm a salesperson. Dude, I didn't know nothing about sales, right? Just because you can talk to somebody doesn't mean you know how to sell something. It means you know how to talk to people, right? So again, you need to drive your attention to these things if you want to get past them, right? If you don't want to keep making the same mistake over and over again, you got to be aware of it and then say, okay, hey, how can I fix this? So are you serious about your finances right now? Like for real serious, right? Like me, I moved away from my family and my friends for a job and an opportunity. You know how hard it is for people to do that? Into a different city, into a different state? Because I got to the point where I was serious about money. I'd been broke. I was broke, I was on unemployment, I didn't have any money, I felt trapped in my life, right? So if you feel like that, you got to make the decision like, hey man, I got to do something, even if that means moving out and going somewhere else and being uncomfortable and being someplace where the outcome isn't a certain thing, right? Getting uncomfortable. And then the last thing is spending energy, effort, and money on things that will not move you forward. Okay, so we're talking about wasting time, okay? Wasting time before you actually make your finances important, okay? Wasting time not learning how to produce, wasting time spending energy, effort, and attention on things that don't move you forward. So what are those things for you? I know for me it was going out and partying all the time, I had a good job, sales job, 20 years old, 21 years old, making like 160, 180 grand a year, living at home, no bills. Man, I was like, psh, 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 let's go pop some bottles at the club because that's what everybody on TV is doing. That was a goal of mine, right? To be able to have enough money to go out and spend money at the club. I mean, I wasn't taking my finances seriously. I wasn't serious about my money. And so I know a lot of us make those same mistakes, going out and buying a pair of shoes or going out and buying a car that we shouldn't be buying because we're not there yet. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I've made the mistakes before, guys, right? Like what we said at the beginning of the show, learn from the people that have been there. Now, I'm no place near where I want to go, and sometimes I even find myself, I'm giving these people advice I don't even feel qualified to. But then I'm like, okay, wait, go back through your story, right? Made money, broke. Slept on an air mattress, broke, unemployment, didn't know where I was going in my life. I mean, you guys feel me? Like, have you been in that situation before? Because you're wasting time, man. You're wasting time not taking it seriously, right? Is that getting you guys down deep in the guts, right? So look, we're talking about wasting time, okay? You got to have some urgency. So what are you going to do to take your finances more seriously? What does that even mean for you? I know for me that meant putting attention on it, writing down every single day. Hey, what am I shooting for? What am I shooting for? And once I started writing it, I was like, man, I'm actually moving forward. I remember one point I was like, man, if I could just make $5-6 grand a month, man, I'd actually be able to relax a little bit, And then it started growing and growing and growing, and the goal starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So when we come back from the break, I got a couple more callers sharing the biggest mistakes they ever made on Young Hustlers.
Are you looking for ways to raise funds to increase your local impact? If you're a nonprofit, church, civic group, school, or individual, Funds to Org's Shoe Drive fundraiser helps your cause raise funds while supporting micro enterprises in developing nations. Funds to Orgs provides at no charge the tools you need to create a successful, no-calorie fundraising event. Just engage your supporters to collect gently worn, used, and new shoes. We'll transport the collected shoes and issue a check back to you within 48 hours of processing. Sign up now at fundstoorgs.com. That's fundstoorgs.com. Are you looking for ways
We're
to
rebuilding America one roof at a time due to hail and wind damage, and I'm here to bring you the roofing sales opportunity. I am the very best on the planet at implementing success. My business isn't easy. This is going to be a tough job. You're going to get kicked in the stomach, but at the end of the day, this is the easiest sell in America. Are you willing to go to the dojo, to get strong, to learn the moves, to learn how to sell $100,000 worth of commissions in free hail damage roof replacements? I had 4 sales reps make over $200,000. When the hailstorm hits, you must be willing to travel. You must have a little bit of money in your pocket to get through the first 3 weeks. But if you give me 1 year commitment, I can promise you that I give you the steps to make $250,000 in your first year in the business.
I want the best, and I will hire the best. Send your 60-second video resume to CertifiedRoofingProfessionals.com. That's CertifiedRoofingProfessionals.com.
If you're thinking about starting a business, just started a new business, or want to grow your business, don't miss this live video webcast with Grant Cardone, New York Times bestselling author, international sales and business expert, and Fran Tarkenton, NFL Hall of Famer and founder of Tarkenton Companies, where 2 completely self-made legends sit down to show you how to get going big now, avoid the biggest mistakes in business, find out what your next move is, get out of the little think mode, how to ensure you never fail, how to discover trends and opportunities, discover what's holding you back from your 10x growth levels, how to attract the best talent, how to know how to blow up your business, and how to expand your brand and increase your own cash flow. Remember, every business has a bottom line. Grant Cardone and Fran Tarkenton want to help your bottom line. Make more customers, help more people, make more money. Register right now at kickstartyoursmallbusiness.com. That's kickstartyoursmallbusiness.com today.
Hey, and we're back. I want to jump on with Johnny from West Palm Beach, Florida. Johnny, dude, what's the biggest mistake you ever made? Hello, Johnny. We're talking about mistakes, man. What's the biggest mistake you ever made?
Is this Jared?
This is Jared, man. You live on the show, man.
Oh, nice. Let me walk out. Biggest mistake I ever made was actually coming down to you boys for whatever it takes and screwing up, not being prepared, not being ready. Sat with you boys, and I accidentally blamed my old employer. I sold the water. So I realized it, and I took that energy back home to my family, and I dug into the car dealership I owned and started selling about 20, 25 cars a month solo. Ran that capital for about 5 months, sold a lot, and now I own a call center business where we sell warranties. And
dude, I love that,
warranty business from 4 employees to 28.
Dude, give it up for my man Johnny. So what he did, guys, again, like this is, you have to be aware of this. So Johnny made a mistake. He came down here. He realized that he wasn't prepared. He realized that he was making excuses. He realized that he came here and he didn't have whatever it takes. And so he was aware enough to say, hey, this is what I need to go back to fix. And then he went back to his business, fixed it, put the right processes in place, blew his business up, sold his business. Now he's on to something else, and he's growing and growing and growing, 4 to 24 salespeople or something like that. Johnny, dude, thanks for sharing your story, man. Thanks for sharing your story, letting all the other young hustlers out there know what is capable, or what you're capable of doing if you're just aware.
And I appreciate the opportunity, and thanks for waking me up.
Hey, Johnny. Where can people find you?
I live in West Palm Beach, but you can. I'm Jonathan Ringgold on Facebook. I think I'm Jonathan Ringgold at Closer Nation on Twitter. But mostly I'm dialing into my dialer we call Nationwide, 11 to 8, Monday to Friday, and I actually get weekends off. So
my man.
Kind of a good gig.
My man. Hey, thanks for calling in, dude. I appreciate your story. All right, let's go to, is that TJ or Ty from Tennessee? TJ? TJ, what's happening, TJ? You there, TJ?
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, TJ, we're talking about mistakes on Young Hustlers today. Let's hear your biggest mistake.
The biggest mistake for me would be settling and getting complacent someplace that just wasn't giving me what I need.
Yep. And what'd you do about it?
That ended up leaving finally.
How did you know you were in the wrong place?
I would be exhausted all the time, and it wasn't from anything physically that was going on. It was just from being fed up constantly.
Yeah, that'll drain you, man. That'll drain you. So TJ said, hey, look, I'm in a place, I'm drained all the time, there's all this BS around, it's like dragging me down as a person. I need to make a move, man. I need to make a move. And then how long did it take for you to leave?
Man, I was there for 2 years.
So, you know, TJ's experiencing something that, you know, probably a lot of viewers can identify with. Feeling like you're stuck in a place and you can't make a move because you're afraid of the change. You know, a lot of people get paralyzed in this space where they're like, they're not happy where they are. I mean, I know I was there. I was literally complacent with my life. I hated where I was at. I was in Austin, Texas. You know, I love my parents to death, but I hated where I was at. I wasn't happy. You know, I felt like I was stuck in life, and I was like, dude, you got to make a move. You got to change this. You got to break this. I was out there for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Same story as you. And then I was like, dude, we got to change something. That was when I started getting serious about my finances. I was like, I got to break this. So I moved back to California. Okay, I knew people there. I had a network there. Maybe the decision was made partially because I knew people there and it was familiar. But for me, it was okay. Get back here. Get happy, right? Like get yourself together so that you're not miserable every day. And then you got to start looking for those opportunities, right? You got to start looking for the opportunity to make a step up, make a change. And I was there. I was in California for probably 2 or 3 months, and then I moved up to LA for Grant. So dude, TJ, thanks for sharing your story, man. I'm glad that you made the move. It's inspiring to other people.
Hey, Jared, I've got a question also.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I work in a big box retail store now selling contract cellular phone service.
Okay.
And the number one objection I get, I can handle price, I can handle a lot of things. The number one objection I get is they don't like a contract. And that's the only thing I have to offer is a contract. And then the reasons for I don't like a contract is I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah. Hey, nobody likes contracts. Every single person we talk to doesn't like contracts. Are you married?
I am.
How long you been married?
2 years this month.
Dude, that's a lifelong contract. You're already 2 years in, man. That's longer than a cell phone contract.
That's true.
The truth is we do contracts for you, sir, not for us. We do contracts to make sure that you get continued service. You're not susceptible to any rate hikes. You know, you get a locked-in price, and then we can keep providing you service at the lowest price possible. I need your approval here at the bottom, and I'll get this plan activated for you today.
Love it.
Good?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, man. And happy birthday also.
Thanks, TJ. I appreciate it. Let's go to Jerry from California. Jerry, welcome to Young Hustlers.
Yes, hello, this is Jerry.
Jerry, how's it going, man? I got to tell you something, Jerry. Whenever I introduce myself, people always call me Jerry instead of Jared. I was like, I don't know how I can fix that. So I always say, like Jared, the guy from Subway. I mean, that's what I used to say until he was touching kids and stuff. And then I was like, it's like Jared, like the jewelry store, you know?
Well, my name is Gerardo, but very few people can pronounce that correctly.
Okay.
So I call myself Jerry.
That makes sense. Jerry, what's the biggest mistake you ever made?
Biggest mistake, I would say probably just not setting the goals big enough. I do relate to what you said earlier about just being complacent and thinking you were at a good place. But that's because I guess that's just your thought. I remember thinking, hey, maybe one day I'll get a house and have a couple cars in the garage, and then there's nothing beyond that. But I discovered that there is. Mm-hmm. That's probably my mistake, my thinking that way. So I'm trying to get out of that. I've made the decision to get out of that and try to move forward and have bigger dreams, bigger goals.
Dude, I'll tell you, Jerry,
I don't want to be stuck in the middle.
Dude, I'll tell you, from a guy like Grant, super successful, you'd look at him, you'd be like, man, he's got everything I could ever want. I'd never want anything more. Dude, that's his number one biggest mistake that he feels he's made, is just not setting targets high enough. Dude, I got to tell you, it's a tricky thing. Like, when you get to this point where, everybody else around you says, oh, you're successful, man, you made it, Oh,
yeah.
Like, where you feel comfortable because either your house is secure or you've got a little bit of money in the bank. And, dude, here's the trick. Okay, because I find myself getting into that too. I'm like, man, I'm looking around me. I'm like, I'm making a ton of money. I've got money invested in real estate. You know, I've got money coming in and I'm not even working for it. Like, I find myself getting in, man, if I could just get to the point where I got like 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand a year in passive income coming in, man, you know, then I might be able to, dude, you find yourself getting caught in that. And the second you go down that road, you got to stop. I'm telling you, I get in that same, and I snap myself out of it, and I'm like, as long as the goals continue to grow, you will always be good. You'll always be good.
It comes from comparing yourself to other people. I think we just got to focus on ourselves and what we want,
For sure.
base our goals on other people's goals.
Dude, if you've got the gas pedal all the way to the floor all the time, it's hard for people to pass you, right? When you start letting off, dude, that's when traffic starts catching up with you. People start coming around you. That's why Grant always talks about, dude, I like to be ahead of the pack. I like to be so far ahead people can't catch me. Because when you start getting back into the pack, dude, that's when people start cutting you off, slamming their brakes on because the thing's in the road. You get in the accident, and everything falls apart, man.
Yeah.
That's a little sensationalized. But dude, you just got to... Go ahead.
I was wondering if I could squeeze in a question, too, as well.
Yeah.
I got a couple, but I'll just narrow it down to one because I know you might be pressed on time. I'm trying to work a deal. I do graphic and print work, and I do freelance work here and there. And I'm trying to work a deal with someone who might want to contract for a few months of work. And in the past, I've only done from project to project. But when I start talking to this person, how do I even start to think about what I'm going to charge or what I'm worth?
Yeah, dude, that's a great question. Like, especially for creative people, like it's a really hard thing for them to figure out, like, what is the perfect price? You know, I would say to some extent, for me at least, like I got to know, I don't know anything about the printing space or how much cost goes into it. You got to, here's the thing you have to do. You have to put a cost on the cost of your products. Like, what does the work actually cost me to do? The biggest mistake that people don't do is they don't factor in their time, right? Like, what is your time worth? Not the print, not the machine, not all that stuff, but what is your time worth? You worth $50 an hour? You worth $75 an hour? How much time are you going to be investing in the project? You got to look at all these different things, right? And then you got to come up and put a price together based on that, you know?
It's just I guess my concern is I don't want to price myself out and be like, oh, this guy's way too expensive.
Yeah, or
just cheap sell myself.
Yeah, so the best thing to do, like, you make a proposal like that. And let's just say you go in at $3,000 a month or something like that, and the guy's like, "Yeah, okay, that's great. You know, hey, we'll think about it." What I would do is I would just move into a close based on that to uncover if that's the real issue, right? Like, once that real issue comes out, you can fix it. But a lot of times, if people have a price objection or something like that, they're just going to stall. So the three things you can ask yourself are these. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So the three questions you want to ask yourself, you want to say this, hey, look, I understand you want to think about it. Most of the time when I show people proposals like this, they want to take a little bit of time to think it over. But what I've found more often than not is when people get into that place, I mean, even as a consumer myself, when I get to that place where I'm like, hey, I need to think about it, I find myself asking three questions. Can I share them with you?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, great. Hey, is Jerry the type of guy that I want to work with? Yes or no?
Yeah, I seem like a nice guy.
Okay, great. Is the work that I've presented going to fulfill your needs? Yes or no?
I think it's going to do it, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then last, can I make sense of the money for what I'm getting? Yes or no?
Well, yeah, I mean,
great. So you get answers to each of those questions, Jerry. That's what I'm saying. Is because most of the time people are going to tell you, send me a proposal. Hey, it's $3,000 a month. Great. Send me a proposal. I'll review it when I have an opportunity to. I just need to think about it a little longer. Right when they say that, dude, you got to go back in and find out what the problem is because you're not going to get another shot with them.
Awesome.
Go back and rewatch this after the show. Write those three questions out and ask people those questions.
Got it.
All right.
Hey, awesome.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. All right, guys, so we're talking about mistakes, the biggest mistakes that you can make. Dude, I'm telling you, the biggest mistake that you can make is wasting time. I mean, dude, if you can get to the finish line in half the time, why would you not want to do it? It's going to mean that you do a little bit more work on the front side, but I promise you, when you get to the finish line and you're looking around and everybody else is still running the race, dude, you're going to be happy, man. You're going to be happy. So look, I was telling a story at the beginning about us shooting some cold call content in Vegas. It's going to be an unbelievable course. It's not a webcast. This is actually training. This is like how to build your actual script. Short little segments of content, testing behind everything so that you can go back through what do I understand, what do I not understand. It's going to be a $1,900 course. Okay, it's going to be delivered via video through our online university platform. It's a $1,900 course. As a pre-sale, you can get the program now for $600. You want to go to grantcardone.com/cold call. I'll make sure that it gets put into the comments here on the show. grantcardone.com/cold call. Get that program because that handles problem number 2, which is don't waste time learning how to produce income. If you can make a cold call and you can get good at it, you can go anywhere. So look, I hope you guys learned something from the mistakes that other people's made. I hope that you learned something from me sharing the mistakes that I've made. Most importantly, look at the mistakes that you've made in your life and figure out what you can do to prevent that mistake from happening again, because otherwise you just crazy, right? Making the same mistake over and over again. So look, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thursday, noon, East Coast Standard Time. Next week, we'll be right back here. Love to hear your calls. Love to see your comments. And make sure you tune in tomorrow at noon with Mr. Grant Cardone for the Cardone Zone. Hey, and I just want to remind you, the only people that condemn the hustle are the ones that have already given up on the hustle themselves. We'll see you next week.
Today's episode was brought to you by the Comfort Experts. See us for all your heating and air conditioning needs. For more information, visit onehouраircarolinas.com. That's onehouraircarolinas.com.